Welcome to today's analysis of the recent debate between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. As we dive into the key moments, we'll break down the candidates' policy positions, leadership styles, and vision for America. Let's explore how their approaches contrast on pressing issues such as the economy, healthcare, immigration, and climate change. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the American people deserve a clear understanding of where each candidate stands. One of the most significant topics discussed during the debate was the economy. Both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris took strong positions, reflecting their broader visions for how America's economy should be structured.
We had the greatest economy. We got hit with a pandemic, and the pandemic was not since 1917, where 100 million people died, has there been anything like it. We did a phenomenal job with the pandemic. We handed them over a country where the economy and where the stock market was higher than it was before the pandemic came in.
Donald Trump continues to emphasize a pro-business stance, focusing on tax cuts for corporations and rolling back regulations. During the debate, Trump pointed to his administration's pre-pandemic economic performance as evidence of success, boasting record low unemployment rates, particularly for minority groups. Trump's argument relies on the belief that tax cuts stimulate economic growth. His 2017 tax bill, which cut corporate tax rates from 35% to 21%, is often cited as a win for business owners. However, critics argue that these tax cuts benefited the wealthy disproportionately, leading to increasing income inequality.
When you look at his economic plan, it's all about tax breaks for the richest people. I am offering what I describe as an opportunity economy, and the best economists in our country, if not the world, have reviewed our relative plans for the future of America. What Goldman Sachs has said is that Donald Trump's plan would make the economy worse, mine would strengthen the economy.
Kamala Harris, in contrast, calls for a more equitable economic system that addresses income inequality. Her focus during the debate was on raising the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour, closing tax loopholes for corporations, and offering targeted financial relief to the middle and lower classes. Harris aligns with progressive policies that prioritize social equity, proposing that a fairer tax system and investment in social services are crucial to long-term growth. Economists supporting Harris' approach argue that increasing the minimum wage could stimulate consumer spending, while opponents claim it may burden small businesses. The pandemic has only highlighted the disparities in the healthcare system, making it a hot topic in the debate. Let's examine how Donald Trump and Kamala Harris presented their healthcare plans.
John McCain fought Obamacare for 10 years, but it wasn't only him. It were all of the Democrats that kept it going. And you know what? We can do much better than Obamacare, much less money. But she won't improve private insurance for people, private medical insurance. That's another thing she doesn't want to get. People are paying privately for insurance that have worked hard and made money, and they want to have private.
Trump's healthcare message centered around repealing and replacing the Affordable Care Act ACA, commonly known as Obamacare, with a more market-based system. He reassured the public that pre-existing conditions would still be covered under his plan, although specific details of this replacement remain vague. Trump's administration made multiple attempts to repeal the ACA during his first term, with varying degrees of success. While his supporters argue that Obamacare increased premiums and imposed mandates that hurt businesses, opponents counter that millions of Americans gained coverage under the ACA. Trump's lack of clarity on a concrete alternative plan left many analysts questioning the feasibility of his proposals.
We have allowed for the first time Medicare to negotiate drug prices on behalf of you, the American people. Donald Trump said he was going to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices. He never did. We did. And now we have capped the cost of insulin at $35 a month. Since I've been vice president, we have capped the cost of prescription medication for seniors at $2,000 a year. And when I am president, we will do that for all people, understanding that the value I bring to this.
Harris supports a more expansive healthcare system, advocating for a strengthened ACA and steps toward universal coverage. Her emphasis on healthcare as a fundamental right resonates with progressive voters. Harris has also expressed support for Medicare for all, though she has acknowledged the challenges of implementing such a system immediately. Harris' healthcare proposals focus on expanding the ACA, lowering prescription costs, and increasing coverage for underserved communities. Critics argue that expanding government healthcare programs would be costly, while supporters highlight the long-term benefits of universal access, particularly in preventing medical bankruptcies and improving public health outcomes. Another heated debate topic was immigration, where the candidates starkly differed in their views on how to manage border security and the fate of undocumented immigrants.
Rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
Donald Trump maintained a hardline stance on immigration, championing the construction of the border wall and stricter enforcement measures. He pointed to his administration's success in reducing illegal border crossings and proposed a merit-based immigration system that prioritizes skills over family reunification. Trump's immigration policies have been a cornerstone of his platform since 2016, focusing on national security and reducing the flow of undocumented immigrants. Supporters argue that these policies protect American jobs and public resources, while critics decry the humanitarian impact, particularly in separating families at the border and restricting asylum seekers.
The United States Congress, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Senate, came up with a border security bill, which I supported. And that bill would have put 1,500 more border agents on the border to help those folks who are working there right now overtime trying to do their job. It would have allowed us to stem the flow of fentanyl coming into the United States. I know there are so many families watching tonight who have been personally affected by the surge of fentanyl in our country.
Kamala Harris took a more compassionate stance on immigration, advocating for comprehensive reform that includes a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, particularly Dreamers. She criticized Trump's policies, emphasizing the need to end family separations and provide humane treatment for asylum seekers. Harris' immigration policies align with more progressive Democrats who seek to reform the system in a way that balances security with compassion. Critics argue that more lenient immigration policies could incentivize illegal immigration, while advocates highlight the economic and cultural contributions of immigrants to American society. When it comes to climate change, the debate exposed a fundamental divide between the two candidates, with vastly different approaches to environmental policy and energy independence.
It's going, they're all leaving. They're building big auto plants in Mexico, in many cases owned by China. They're building these massive plants, and they think they're going to sell their cars into the United States because of these people.
Donald Trump continued to argue that environmental regulations stifle economic growth. He touted the U.S. withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement as a win for American workers, emphasizing energy independence through traditional sources like oil, gas, and coal. Trump's stance on climate change has been consistent with his administration's policies of rolling back environmental protections to prioritize economic growth. Critics, however, point to the long-term dangers of ignoring climate science and the potential economic impacts of climate-related disasters. Supporters argue that his policies protect American energy jobs and lower energy costs for consumers.
And I'm also proud to have the endorsement of the United Auto Workers and Sean Fain, who also know that part of building a clean energy economy includes investing in American-made products, American automobiles. It includes...
Kamala Harris took a starkly different position, advocating for aggressive action to combat climate change. She supports rejoining the Paris Agreement, investing in renewable energy sources like wind and solar, and reducing America's carbon footprint through green infrastructure initiatives. Harris' climate platform aligns with the broader Democratic push for environmental justice and clean energy. Critics question the feasibility and cost of transitioning to a green economy, while supporters argue that investments in renewable energy will create jobs, reduce pollution, and position the U.S. as a leader in the global fight against climate change. As we wrap up, it's clear that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris present two very different visions for America's rights. Whether it's the economy, healthcare, immigration, or climate change, their contrasting approaches reflect deeper ideological divides. Trump's platform is rooted in deregulation, traditional values, and national security, while Harris emphasizes equity, inclusion, and environmental responsibility. Both candidates have a strong base of support, and their policies resonate with different segments of the electorate. As voters, it's crucial to not only understand what each candidate promises, but also to critically assess how their policies will impact the nation in the long term. This debate is just one step in that ongoing decision-making process. Thank you for watching our post-debate analysis. Stay informed, stay engaged, and don't forget to vote in the upcoming election. Until next time, this is your political analysis team signing off.